Hey guys, Chris here, the RC Geek. We're out at the field, getting rained on a little bit, but I want to give you guys my field review on the E-flite F-18 Hornet. Guys, this has been a really fun airplane to have in the hangar. Flies really great in the air. Definitely some things to keep in mind when you're talking about takeoff and things like that, which we'll cover. So in terms of the assembly, guys, I will say that these latest E-flite airplanes have been extremely well engineered. This went together really simply, easily, no issues. The finish on the airplane is really nicely done as well. These latest E-flite airplanes have been extremely smooth, which is really great to see, and this one is no exception. It really looks good out of the box. I do like the red and black tails, this paint scheme as a whole, although I did find a camouflage paint scheme that I really liked that I may end up doing a refinish on the airplane. But later down the road, we can deal with that. So one of the features I really want to highlight is the airplane has full-scale landing gear. They're in the scale location. They have the full landing gear extension, which is absolutely killer. I love the fact that they went the extra mile to put on scale landing gear. Now they do bottom out when they're on the ground, which you do want. That helps provide some stability, but it is an F-18, so when you're running up for takeoff, accelerating, you want to be fairly light on the rudder, otherwise you'll end up wallowing back and forth, and that's just the nature of an F-18 with scale gear. I've seen large turbine airplanes do exactly the same thing. Now the key to toning that down is making sure that you've got a fairly nice deadband on your rudder, so that way you don't over control as you run it down the runway. Also, carrying a little back pressure during the takeoff roll really helps as well. Now in terms of flying the airplane in the air, it flies absolutely fantastically. I've really enjoyed flying it a lot. It's not the fastest E-flite airplane out there, but it's got really good power and it looks good in the air, really scale. Now one thing to keep in mind, the landing gear are in the scale position, and so what that means is that the relationship between the CG of the airplane and the main gear tires is a little further back than you would normally get on another airplane. So that's just something to be aware of on your initial flights. Taking off with flaps definitely helps a lot, but I wouldn't recommend taking off with flaps until you've fully tuned in the elevator rate. It does require a slight amount of up elevator at the tail with the flaps. The reason why you're gonna have to pull a little bit more elevator than you may be used to is because when you look at the airplane, I'm gonna come around the front. So when you look at this relationship between, so your CG is right at this corner here, all right? So when you look at the relationship between the CG and the tire, you notice that it's a pretty far distance. Now, in the air, the airplane, when you maneuver, it centers those maneuvers around the CG of the airplane, okay? So when you look at the distance from the CG to the tail, you've got a nice long lever arm, so you don't have to get a whole bunch of throw necessarily to get the pitch response that you want. However, on the ground, during takeoff, you're rotating about the tire. So the fact that this tire is a little bit further back than the CG, than typical, we'll say, means that the distance from the tire to the tail is now shorter. So now as a result, you're going to have to carry a little bit more elevator deflection to get that same rotation rate around the tire versus around the CG. So that's why you have to just give it a little bit more. But again, takeoff flaps definitely helps. And so I would recommend that once you've got it all tuned in and the mix all set. All right, now in terms of the CG, guys, when you look at, there is a corner here. This is the wing part that comes in and interfaces this corner right here. If you lift the airplane up with your fingertips on this corner, that'll give you about the perfect CG location. I CG the airplane such that it's about level or maybe slightly nose down at that location. Now the initial flights I performed with the Spectrum 5,000 milliamp hour batteries, great packs. Flight times were short, only about 3 minutes. So then I ended up going to the Roaring Top 6250, and if you take a look inside here, You know, you see the distance here, they fit perfectly in here, no modification, and as a result I was able to bump up my timer to 3.5 minutes, and I can fly the airplane as hard as I want and have a good time for that. And then this is my center burner battery here. The airplane does have a center burner. This is the 32mm in-runner design that I have on my website. It's an F-18, it's got to have afterburner because, you know, the cool factor is really all that matters, right? Controls, all right? So we mentioned, I'll give you the rates. All right, in terms of the ailerons, I'm at 75% left to right with 5% expo, and that actually is my mid rate on the transmitter. For the elevator, I'm at 100% up and down with 8% expo, and that feels really good to me. And then with the rudder, I'm at 100%, but with 20% expo, and that expo really helps desensitize the steering as you're rolling out on the takeoff. If you do oversteer, the thing is going to do this, and I've scraped many a wingtip trying to get this tuned in, so just be aware that that is the potential. It's a narrow gear, it's an F-18, it's just kind of the nature of the beast. And then finally, on the flaps, my takeoff flap, and then our full flap, up elevator mix. At partial flap, I've got about a 6% up elevator mix, and then at full flap, I have about a 10% elevator mix. And guys, I've got the control throws on the video. You can take notes there, and also I have my full spectrum file on my website at thercgeek.com/EFF18. All right, so let's give you guys a flight. We'll do a flight clean, and then we'll come back, put the stores on, give you a flight with the stores, and then we'll wrap this up.
Polish it up good.
Oh, we got a little maritime environment here going with the, oh, what did I do?
Isn't it an all-weather fighter?
Well, we're going to test that out now.
This is all the weather.
Yeah. It's California, we got rain. I don't know what this stuff is. It's weird. All right, here we go. Let's give you a flight. All right, guys, so that is the Clean Flight. You know, it's such a great looking airplane in the air. It flies like an F-18 should. It's not necessarily the fastest airplane in the world, but it just flies right in the air. Now, once you get the things sorted for the ground handling, no problems at all. So now let's get you guys a flight with the stores on. We're gonna go grab those, we'll put them on, change the battery pack out, and then we'll give that a go. All right, we're gonna put the stores on for you, take the nose off, and then I got to retract the gear. Since we'll pull it up here, we'll give you guys a chance to see how the gear retract. It's really awesome. I love this. All right, and they actually rotate. All right, so with all of the stores on, obviously the airplane has more drag. Nothing comes for free when you start hanging stuff off of an airplane. The other thing is these do actually require an additional up elevator trim. It is about 12 clicks of trim that I'm going to add in. If you're maidening the airplane, I don't recommend maidening with the stores on. Get the airplane trimmed and sorted out, and then if you want to fly with the stores, then go that direction once you've got it all trimmed and ready to go. All right, let's give you guys a flight. Starting to rain on it. All right, guys, that's it. That is the E-flite F-18. We're getting a little rain on us now, but I didn't actually, so the 12 clicks of up trim wasn't quite enough. I had to add about 4 more clicks. If you don't have that set and you try and take this off, you're going to need to add even more elevator to rotate. And in fact, I had to give more than I normally do because I didn't quite have that set. That is the E-flite F-18 for you. I really enjoy flying this airplane. I've got probably over 20 flights on it now, getting it really tuned in for you guys to make sure we get you guys the right settings. Don't forget to follow along, guys, on social media at the RC Geek. See what's going on real time in the shop, and be sure to subscribe. And until next time, I'll see you at the field. All right, got my notes here. I just want to show you real quick. It's my phone case. New phone case. Arnold, say jeez. It's shooting more than pictures, I think. Missiles and pictures, maybe. It's the commando. Get to the chopper. Ah! See, too much Arnold. Don't forget to follow on, guys. What did I just say?